Well, welcome back to school this week. We're still lurking some on inequalities here. Some of us are still having, actually most of us are still having some difficulties in these standard forms to slope-intercept forms with the negative y. So I'm going to do a couple practice examples for you here, which you should do as well with me. As we know, we need to get this y by itself, right? So we need to get rid of everything else around it. So I see this is a negative 4. So the first thing I think is the opposite of negative 4 would be positive 4. So if I have negative 4x and positive 4x, that would give me a 0. So I can come over here and I'm going to add 4x to this side as well. Okay. Now don't forget this negative in front of the y is connected together. So now we have negative y is less than, and I'd like to write that 4x first, minus 3, because then it's in y mx plus b. So I know where the slope and the y-intercept is. So like before that we've mentioned, there's a 1 in front of this y that we don't write it, so actually now it's a negative 1. So we can divide or multiply through by negative 1, and everything gets multiplied or divided by the negative 1. Okay, and so the first thing I'm going to remember is when I multiply or divide by negative, that flips my sign around. And I know negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1y, or just y. Negative 4, or positive 4x divided by negative 1 is negative 4x. And then negative 3 divided by negative 1 is a positive 3. Okay, so then I'm going to go to graph. I know that this is my y-intercept, so I'm going to go over to 3. And my slope is negative 4. So some of you guys are having this, but you're drawing the wrong slope. When you're doing this, you should know that a negative is going to be a downward slope. So that should help you in where to go this. This slope is negative 4, so we're going to go down 4 because it's negative, and over 1, because remember this is really negative 4 over 1. All whole numbers get put over 1. Okay, and so then I want to look at this inequality. It says greater than, not including. So I want to go down here and I want to draw a line. Let's see, let's draw a red line, and I want it to be dashed because it's not including those points. So I'm going to go down here and then draw the dashed line. Okay, and then I always take a minute and look and see, okay, this is a negative slope. Is this going down right here? Yep, it's going down. That's negative. And so then we want to do our test point. So like we've mentioned before, the 0, 0 is a great number because it's easy math. So I can plug it in up here or down here. A lot of times it's a lot easier to plug in up here. So if I do negative 4 times 0, times 0, minus 0 is less than negative 3. Well, negative 4 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. So I get 0 is less than negative 3. And this is not true. And some of you guys are getting tricked by this. 0 is not smaller than a negative number. So therefore, this statement is false. So these points on this side are false. So I'm going to shade these points because these must be true. Okay? So step by step, follow the steps, do the example. And let's look at one other example. Okay? So here I have the same type of problem. I got to get the 2x over to the other side. This is a positive 2x, so a negative 2x would cancel that out. It's funny how that changed like that. All right? And so then again, the negative 2x will come over here. So again, this is a common error. Don't forget that that is a negative 4y. Greater than, and then I like to write this x first, so it's in slope-intercept form, and that's a positive 4. So that becomes plus 4. Okay, you can write it 4 minus 2x as long as you know which one's the slope and which one's the y-intercept. So now again here, I have a negative 4. So a negative 4 divided by negative 4 will give me a positive 1y. So I want to divide each one by negative 4 also. So here, negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1y, positive 1y. I divide by a negative, so that makes this switch signs. And we're getting mixed up a little bit here This is negative 2 over negative 4. So a negative over negative is going to give you positive, and 2 over 4, it reduces down to a half. So this is just 1/2 x. Some of you guys are flipping this around and making it 2. You can't. It's 2 divided by 4, which is a half. And then we have 4 divided by negative 4, which gives me a negative 1. Okay, so again, the y-intercept is negative 1. I'm going to come over here, and then we have a positive a half, up 1 over 2. And again, this tells me it's not including, so that would be a dashed line. Okay, and so then I have to decide, are these points up here solutions, or are these points down here solutions? So again, I can use my easy coordinate here, which is 0, 0. And again, I like to just plug it in here because I think it's easier to use the original problem, but you can use the one that we created at the bottom also. That's a 4. Oops. I mean, you can plug 0 in here and 0 in here, either way. So here I'd get 2 times 0 is 0, negative 4 times 0 is 0. So I get 0 is greater than 4, which is not a true statement. I could also do it here. 0 is less than 1/2 times 0 minus 1. So here I'll get 0 is less than negative 1, which again is not true. So it doesn't matter which equation you plug it into, the end result will be the same. So we got false again on this one. So this side is false, therefore this side is true. Okay, and then I go through again, and this is a positive slope. This is a positive slope, so I know I did it correctly. Okay, so we really need to nail those types of problems down. So I'd like you to take a couple minutes and do these 2 sample problems on your own and come in with those with your video notes tomorrow. And we will keep working away on these inequalities until we get it. Have a great evening. Good night.